popping, homie, day and night. Got the party jumping, about to break the ice. Stay up on my grind, that's my way of life. I got tunnel vision, I'ma chase that ray of light.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at Bulk Pre-Workout by Transparent Labs. Is it going to get you swole? As we cover the usuals, the taste, the price, the label, the effects, will it be the next pre-workout you pick up? And if you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button, tick the bell icon, give the video a like, drop down below your thoughts on this product and anything else you want to see us review. Into that first segment, Taste and Mixability, we have got Tropical Punch flavour, but it does come in quite a nice range of flavours, which I'll pop up on the screen for you. But let's see how this one goes down. So Mixability, giving it a good old stir. There are some bits settled at the bottom. You know, I'd say that's about average, really. And it is quite a big scoop, to be fair to it. It's 23 grams. So let's see how Tropical Punch tastes. We've got a bit of froth action there. It's okay, it's not great. It's got a very pre-workout-y kind of bitter, almost chemical-y background to it. It's not really sour. It's a bit sweet, but mostly bittery and chemically for me. So it's one of the not so good flavours I've had in recent times. So 5 out of 10 is bang average. I'd still say it's above average, which I know I've described it quite bad, but I'd say it still is above average. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. So you won't struggle with it, but it's by no means enjoyable either. So check out some of the other flavours maybe. So you can pick up this tub from transparentlabs.com, where you can use our discount code RB10, which will knock off 10% of this product, bringing it down to $44.99 or $1.49 per the serving. And when you translate it over into pounds and pop it on our consistent price scale, it comes in at a 7 out of 10. So priced better than average with our discount code. So let's get into the label, get into the real world effects. Is it a better than average pre-workout? Okay, let's get into this label then. So 23.44 gram scoop. So definitely, you know, bigger scoop than average. So let's get into it. So you've got a bunch of vitamins up the top and minerals just for general bodily health and functioning. Then we move down to the meat and potatoes of the formula, where we've got citrulline malate 2:1 at 6 grams. So obviously you're getting 4 grams of pure citrulline, which isn't bad at all. It's going to get the veins widening, you know, the nitric oxide levels bumped up and help you with those pumps. Then we move down to beta alanine at 4 grams, so above the clinical of 3.2. We like that. That's an endurance-based ingredient when it builds up in your system, but also famous for that itchy, tingly sensation it can give you when it kicks in. And then we've got BCAAs 2:1 ratio at 4 grams, and we always argue this. It's not really necessary to have them in a pre-workout, but they're the building blocks of protein. They're going to help with the recovery side of things, and they're the non-essential amino acids that your body does actually make. So yeah, not really necessary, but maybe they put it in there to roll with the whole bulk theme they're going with in this product. Then we move down to a trademarked ingredient, Beta Pure, which is betaine anhydrous at 2.5 grams. The dose we look for, that's that kind of jack of all trades ingredient in that it helps with power, endurance, performance, pumps, all of the goodies. Then we've got taurine at 1.3 grams, a really random dose, but certainly above average. That's another amino acid, and that's going to help with cognition, it's going to help with energy levels within the body, and also pumps via hydration. Then we've got L-tyrosine at 1 gram, the dose we look for, not too shabby. Another amino acid is going to help with the focus and cognition side of things. Then we've got L-theanine, another amino acid at 360 milligrams, quite a high dose relative to the stims in this product, that is. So that's that ingredient that can sort of taper down stimulation, smooth it over, make sure there's no harsh jitters from the stimulants in your pre-workouts, and sort of tunnel in the focus from the caffeine and prevent any kind of crash in theory. So it's a bit of a love it or hate ingredient. We'll have to see how it comes together in this formula. Then we've got Alpha Size, which is the registered version of Alpha GPC at 300 milligrams, yielding 150 milligrams of choline. So obviously the dose we'd like to see is 600 milligrams, yielding 300 milligrams of choline. So it is underdosed from what we would like to see, but it still will have some effect. It is a good source of choline nonetheless. So it's going to help with the focus and cognition, similar to L-tyrosine. Then we move down to caffeine anhydrous, 180 milligrams, you know, energy drink level of caffeine. So it's not going to absolutely blow your head off, but certainly you're going to feel it. So yeah, strong cup of coffee / energy drink level. Yeah, going to get the job done. It's going to wake you up. Then we've got theobromine at only 50 milligrams. You know, it's quite a low dose, but that's that ingredient in chocolate that dogs are allergic to. They cannot digest it. There's a little fun fact we always like to drop in with theobromine, but that's going to help with some mild stimulation, mild energy, a bit of blood flow, and a bit of feel-good factor. And then we've got Infinergy, which is decaffeine malate, the trademark version, only 30 milligrams. So you're actually not going to be yielding much caffeine from that at all. In fact, I'll have to do the maths, I'll pop it up on the screen, but it's going to be like the equivalent of a sip of coffee. So you could argue, is it really worth it putting it in there at such a low dose? It probably won't even have any actual feeling in the body from that, but we'll have to see. And then we've got estrogen at 25 milligrams. We normally like to see 50, but that's a digestive aid, so it's going to help get everything through you as quickly and efficiently as possible. So we always welcome them. So let's see how it comes together in the real world. Okay, effects time with bulk pre-workout. In the several times that myself and Aaron have used it, and we'll start off like we always do with that beta-alanine, because it's the first thing that typically kicks in with pre-workouts to have it. It's in here at 4 grams, so how does it kick in? Not as strong as you might think, actually. I'd say to an average degree, you know, a 5 or a 6 out of 10 on the tingle scale, surprisingly, but I do think it's because it's a big label, you know, there's a lot of ingredients to get you through you, so the beta-alanine does take a bit of a back seat. So you do get some mild itchy tingly effects, a bit of heating sensation, but nothing extreme. So if you do like beta-alanine, you'll miss it a little bit in here in terms of how it feels. And if you don't like beta-alanine, then you might be okay with it. So swings and roundabouts. So after the beta-alanine, it comes in with a very, very smooth amount of energy and focus together. It's kind of like you've just been switched on, perked up a little bit, similar to if you took like a coffee. You know, a kind of strong coffee is the best way I can explain the energy. So, you know what, I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. This pre-workout feels like you've just had a coffee with some beta-alanine and a couple of pump ingredients. That's the best way to describe the effects of this pre-workout. And I think that's the route they're going down. You know, it's clearly, obviously more of a daily driver. It's suitable for everyone, you know, beginners, obviously not stim junkies probably want it because it wouldn't touch the sides for you, but I'm saying that anyone could take it. Someone could take it as their first pre-workout and be absolutely fine. It's non-offensive, but it's also quite forgettable and non-exciting. So you win some, you lose some. It just depends what you want from your pre-workout. But obviously they're going down that bulk route where, you know, they don't want to be giving you like loads of stimulation, burning away your muscle, making you miss meals, keeping you up all night. You know, they don't want none of that to go with it. So I think that's why they've designed it the way they have with the BCAAs, you know, for whatever that's worth. And the lower stim approach with some of the pump ingredients and the focus ingredients and the power ingredients. So that's the route they're going down with the whole bulk thing. So it just depends if that's the sort of pre-workout you want. But me and Aaron have always said this, you know, pre-workouts are more something you take for immediate effect to get immediately revved up and immediately switched on for the gym. You know, you want them to hit quite hard to a pretty noticeable degree, but this one is so smooth, you know, you almost don't know you've even taken a pre-workout. You know, that's why I say it feels like you've just had a coffee and a bit of beta-alanine in terms of what you actually feel. So with that being said, you know, all 3 elements we look for, you know, the pump, the energy and the focus, all come into an average or possibly slightly above average level, where I would say that pumps are the best element, just behind that is focus, and just behind that is energy, with no negatives at all. So, you know, you're not going to be appetite suppressed, missing meals, kept up all night, you're not going to be jittery, salivary, dribbly, feeling sick, you know, nothing like that with this pre-workout. So at least it's consistent in that every time you take it, you know, you're going to be safe and healthy, and, you know, you're not inviting any unwanted side effects with it. So yeah, I mean, it is doing what it's setting out to achieve. I just think it could be doing it better. You know, it could get rid of the BCAAs, you could increase that decaffeine malate to make it more worthwhile, you could get rid of that L-theanine, because let's face it, the caffeine's already low enough to start with, so you don't really need to be chucking in a hefty amount of L-theanine as well on top. But that's just our thoughts and feelings, you know how this goes. So, I think I've covered it all. You know, if I had to give it an overall score, honestly, I'd give it 5 out of 10 is an absolute average pre-workout, just blah. I would say it's above average, but not by a mile. I would give it a 6 out of 10. You know, there's no negatives, so we always like that with pre-workouts. They do gain some pointage on that element alone. And like I said, it doesn't take away from your training, it just doesn't add too much to it either. And when you think back on the last time you used it, you're not going to be overly excited to use it again. But it's a healthy, consistent, predictable pre-workout, and sometimes that's all you need, and sometimes that's all people want. And like I said, beginners will be absolutely fine. But as we always say, let us know your thoughts down below on this pre-workout. Have you used it? Do you want to use it? Have you used anything else by Transparent Labs? All the usuals, and as always, stay stimmed.
all take a look. Don't know what your mama took, sweet and spicy.